Let's be real for a second. There's nothing quite like the ego bruise of checking your analytics and seeing a massive cliff in your audience retention graph, because no one wants to see that. It's not fun. You can spend hours, maybe even days filming, writing and recording, and then it happens, that sharp drop off at that 2-minute mark. It is like watching people walk out of a theatre while the movie's still playing, and it stings. But honestly, it is also the best cheat code we have, because those drop-offs are where your audience is telling you exactly where we lost the connection with them and how we can get it back. In this episode of the Talk podcast, I want to talk about how to spot those leakage points and, more importantly, how we can plug those holes so that we keep our audience with us and they don't leave.
Welcome to the Talk podcast with ideas strategist Linda Reed-Enever. Talk is where we chat about ideas and inspiration you can use to market your business. Get ready for practical tips you can implement today with your host, Linda Reed-Enever.
So the first phase of this journey is we need to find the where. Before we fix it, we have to find it. Most platforms, whether it's YouTube, Spotify, your newsletter host, give you some sort of version of a retention map. Now, don't look at the overall average. I look for the valleys, the peaks, the troughs, where things are working. We'll look at the intro dip to start with. If you lose 30% of your people in your first 30 seconds, your hook didn't land. Likely you spent too long on the intro music, the hello that went nowhere, those sorts of things. It's where we've lost people because we're too focused on our own stuff to get across the line. The mid-roll slide is where we've usually got a little bit too self-indulgent, or maybe we're in a tangent about our dog that didn't actually connect to the point of the piece of content that we're creating. While storytelling is good, it needs to be storytelling that attracts. And then we've got things like the early exit, where people leave right before the end because they think you've done and you've signaled the finish line too early. So a pro tip that I can give you here is watch or listen to your own content at the exact time step that they drop. Usually within 5 seconds, you'll realize that, oh, I started rambling there, or that transition was a little bit clunky. It's a literal mirror of your bad habits to watch the content back at those points. Once you've spotted the pattern, it's about adjusting the strategy, because we're not spotting the pattern just for the sake of it. So here's a little bit of strategy we like to use to make sure that we keep people engaged. So the first part of this strategy is all about killing the housekeeping. We're going to stop starting our content with 2 minutes of, hey guys, sorry I haven't posted in a while, follow me on IG, here's my breakfast. Nobody actually cares yet. You have to earn the right to talk about yourself by providing value first. So this is the front load payoff. Give them the big secret in the first 60 seconds and then spend the rest of the time explaining how to use it, because that's the value your audience wants from you. Then we use an open loop technique. If people are dropping off in the middle, it's normally because the tension's died. I like to use open loops. Mention something exciting that's coming up later in the episode. It loops them, it keeps them held, and it keeps them going in. So something like, in 5 minutes, I'm going to tell you the mistake that saw me delete my entire channel. Now the audience have a reason to stay. They're curious, the heartstrings are pulled on, and they want to know what's going to happen next. If there's no what's next, there's no reason to keep listening. And you know it because you've done it in the content you listen to too. And stop signaling the end. A big one, as soon as you say in conclusion or to wrap things up, the listener's brain goes, okay, we're done and we're out of here. Let's close. Let's get out of here and move on. Try the cold close. Deliver your final, most impactful point and then just get out. Don't give them a 3-minute runaway to leave. If you have a CTA or call to action, do it while you're still giving value, not after you finish. That's what my Ideas and Impact Marketing Circle members learn with me along the way. It's all about providing that subtle mention that help people connect. And then we've got phase 3 in the strategy that I like to use. Things like a rehook. Using the psychology of a rehook in our content is great. We've just got to think of our content like a long distance flight. Every 15 minutes or so, the pilot comes over the intercom or the flight attendants bring a snack. Why? To break the monotony of the flight. In your content, you need pattern interrupts, just like the flight attendants. So a change in tone of your voice. If it's video, you might change the camera angle, throw up a graphic. If it's a podcast, you might take a 5-second breather to music transition. Every time you change the pattern, the listener's brain resets. And you'll notice it in this podcast. I've changed tone, I've changed pace. Every time you change the pattern, the listener's brain resets. It's about attention span. It's a trick for sure, but it's a trick that keeps them engaged with what you're trying to teach them along the way. In the scheme of things, a drop off isn't failure, it's just data. It's a direct line of communication from our audience to us saying that this no longer interests us. They aren't being mean, they're just busy. And it's our job to make sure that the content we're creating is actually interesting enough that they forget that they have other things to do. So in checking those graphs, be ruthless in your editing. Stop talking before they start listening. And if you find yourself bored by editing your own work, I promise you the audience will be twice as bored as well. So we cut out the fluff. Go look at your last piece of content, find the dip, and then ask yourself what was happening at the moment. I bet you see exactly what I was talking about. Until next time, I'm Linda Reed-Enever, Ideas in Impact and Marketing Strategist. And if this episode helped you, make sure you share it with someone else.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Talk with Linda Reed-Enever. Make sure you subscribe via your favourite podcast app so you don't miss the next great episode. You can find more ideas and inspiration at enevergroup.com.au.